Hey everyone!
Welcome back to another video. So we recently partnered with Visit Britain where we went to London and Edinburgh. So for this video we wanted to share with you some of our favorite things from that trip. We have two favorite things from each city that we want to share with you, so maybe that when you go to Great Britain you'll have some ideas of things that you can do and things that we learned that we want to share with you. First, let's talk about London.
Hands down, my favorite thing about London was the Tower of London. It's one of those landmarks that when you're visiting, you have to do it. It's a must-see. The history really just sets the tone for the rest of your trip, and there's a lot of mystery behind it as well that I will let you guys figure out when you go for yourself.
One of my favorite things was doing the hop-on hop-off bus tour around London. We got to see a lot more than we normally would just walking around. Since the city is so big, it's nice to be able to hop on a bus, go to the next stop, walk around for a little bit, hop back on, go to the next place. So we got to see so many things in such a short amount of time that we took full advantage of it, and I think we wouldn't have seen as much if we didn't do the hop-on hop-off bus tour.
Another thing that I really liked was the Shard. It's called The View from the Shard, and you go to the top and you could just kind of get a really great aerial view of the entire city of London. And it was, I advise you to do it at night because it was just so much more beautiful to see all the buildings lit up, and it's kind of romantic too because there's a bar up there where you can drink champagne and
it's also outside.
Yeah, you get to kind of just enjoy London from above.
Yeah. One of my other favorite things about our trip in London was where we stayed. We stayed at Cheval Three Keys, which was right next to the Tower of London, and it was also right next to a tube stop. So we were able to see the Tower of London, hop on the tube, and go other locations. It was very convenient. The hotel was beautiful. It was a great location.
Now switching gears, not only were we in London, but we had the opportunity to go to Edinburgh in Scotland, and that to me was probably the highlight of the entire trip. I loved the entire city of Edinburgh, but if there's one thing that I think is totally worth checking out, it would be the Royal Yacht Britannia. It was really fun to just see a glimpse into the royal family and a private part of their life. Like, this is what they used when they went on vacations together, and it meant a lot to Her Majesty the Queen. So it's kind of fun to see that private aspect of the royal family's life.
One of my favorite kind of goes along with the Royal Yacht, but it was the Holyrood Palace. That's where they would stay whenever they go to Edinburgh or Scotland in general. That was their place of residence whenever they're in the area. And so you got to see their vacation home, you got to see where they would stay in Scotland, and we couldn't bring any cameras or take any pictures inside, but I highly recommend going to the Holyrood Palace because it was really cool to see.
Another thing that I recommend doing when you're visiting Edinburgh would be the Meerkat tour of the Royal Mile. It's the entire strip that leads up to Edinburgh Castle, and luckily for us, our hotel, Old Town Chambers, was right off of the Royal Mile, so it was easy for us to walk everywhere, and just having a tour guide give us the brief history of pretty much every building that we walked past was really cool to know that we were in the heart of such rich history.
There's so much.
So much.
The last thing that I really loved was trying on kilts at 21st Century Kilts with Howie Nicholsby. That was just a lot of fun and very different from something that we would normally do. I think if you go to Scotland, you need to try on a kilt just to say that you did it, and to have a famous designer let us try on his kilts was really cool because it showed you a little bit more about the culture of why they have kilts, what they're used for,
the clans, the
and
families.
How they're beneficial in a lot of reasons. So it was really cool to try on the kilts. Yeah.
Overall, the entire trip was so much fun, especially to share together, and I think what really made it much more comfortable is how LGBT friendly the entire UK is. We never felt uncomfortable as LGBT travelers, and it was really easy to get around, and everyone was so friendly, and the nightlife in London when we went out in Soho was so fun and vibrant and full of life, and it was just really fun to see the LGBT aspect of the UK as a whole. So I'm really glad that we took advantage of that.
It's also nice to be immersed in another culture. Yes, LGBT culture here is very open and accepting, but it's nice to go somewhere else and see that it's very similar in that regard. So we had a lot of fun interacting with everybody in Great Britain within the LGBT culture. We went out in Edinburgh, we went out in London, so it was really, really fun to see all of it.
Hashtag love is great.
Yeah. thank you so much for watching this video. If you ever find yourself going to London or Edinburgh, I highly recommend you check out the places that we listed earlier. Piece of advice. If you go in the winter, bring warm clothes. It was very cold when we went in January, so it was a little chilly all the time. Another piece of advice is to plan. We're very fortunate where we had an itinerary of things, but if we would have done it on our own, I think it would have been a lot more difficult. The city is so big, there's so many things to see, and if you don't plan and have an idea of what you want to see on specific days, things that are close together, things that are far apart, it's going to be very difficult to see all the things you want to do. A lot of the things also require appointments or scheduling a time to go, so definitely do your research before you go to the UK and make sure that you have all your ducks in a row before you get on that plane so that you don't have to worry about it when you actually get there and you can enjoy your trip.
So hopefully our tips will help you plan your trip when you go to the United Kingdom.
If you want to see any of our Great Britain content, you can go to Backpacking Boyfriend's YouTube channel and you can see all of our videos from the trip. Bye everybody!